Hey guys, what's going on? Paul here. Welcome back to another Cardano video. So this is another interview from the Cardano Summit. I got to sit down with Dr. Sothy Kol Men, who is one of the founders of Genius Yield and Genius X. So Genius Yield is building a DEX on top of Cardano and Genius X is building a Launchpad. So we talked about both projects, go into them a little bit. I might bring the team on at some point if people want to see that a bit more in depth on the technical stuff and what they're doing with the DEX. Let me know below if you want that. The audio came through fairly well on this one. The visual is off at times because the camera kept trying to autofocus. I've learned a lot for the next time I'm doing these interviews. They should be a lot clearer on the visual side, but at least the audio comes through so you can listen to it in the background if the visual starts to annoy you. Questions? Let me know below. Share it out if you think others could benefit. Give this video a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll talk to you soon. Hey guys, what's going on? Paul here. Welcome back to another Cardano video from the Cardano Summit 2022. I'm now sitting down with the CEO founder of Genius Yield and Genius X. I'll let you introduce yourself to everyone, who you are, and then we'll get into the project, what's going on and where you are today.
Sure. It's a pleasure to be here on the show. Paul, thank you very much for inviting me. My name is Sothy Kol Men. I'm a co-founder of Genius Yield and Genius X. Genius Yield, this is a DEX with a yield optimizer on top of it. It's built, of course, on Cardano. And Genius X is an accelerator program. We help other blockchain startups to grow. We provide consulting services to building the tokenomics, designing the white paper, smart contract review, marketing. We also support them in raising funds. Typically, we do this in three phases. With the seed round, with the ISPO, which is unique to the Cardano blockchain, and also through public sales. For this, we have developed the Genius X Launchpad. It's going to be the world's first launchpad on Cardano that is fully regulatory compliant, smart contract-based token distribution platform on Cardano.
Okay, nice. We'll take it step by step. So we'll start off with the Genius Yield and then we'll get into the Launchpad.
Sure.
And I'll put timestamps below once I'm editing this after anyway. So Genius Yield, it's a DEX. Is it a standard AMM DEX like we see on others, or how does your DEX work?
No, it's not. AMM is mainly a concept that are used on Ethereum-based DEXs. Our one is on Cardano, and it has no impermanent loss, and it features concentrated liquidity. So essentially, you might compare to Uniswap version 3, but instead of on Ethereum, it's on Cardano.
Okay, I have seen things though that Uniswap version 3 isn't just as good as it's advertised with. There is potential loss there for users. How does yours handle that it doesn't have, just for people who aren't familiar with concentrated liquidity, or how does that work as opposed to standard AMM DEX? You put two assets into a pool and your amount of each of them moves up and down depending on how much trading goes on or where the price is. So how does yours differ in that?
Well, I'm not the CTO, unfortunately. My CTO is Lars Brinches. He can explain, he's better position to explain this, but what we did is we exploit the feature on Cardano that makes it possible to avoid impermanent loss. But I would suggest to speak about this specific topic to Lars Brinches.
Okay, so that must be in around the UTXO model.
It is, yeah.
Okay, and you don't know if you have market order types, or is it all like market order? I put in my buy and it buys at the best price, or do you have an order book DEX?
Order book.
Okay, so it's not AMM then?
No.
Okay, yeah.
Concentrated liquidity with an order book system, yeah.
Okay, and is that something like what Axel Trader are doing? I know I had Yarrick on as well before, and we talked about how they're working on the individual smart contracts and stuff. Is yours anything like that?
I don't know exactly what they're doing, what they're building. Sounds to me it goes in the same direction, maybe with some details that are not the same. So yeah.
Okay. And where are you now? What stage are you at with the project?
Yeah, we are quite far. It's been audited the smart contract, and we hope to go live next year with the DEX, and a few months later with the yield optimizer.
Okay, and for anyone not familiar with a yield optimizer, do you want to just say what it is? Like basically, I could deposit my funds and ye decide where I earn the best yield. Is that a simple explanation?
That's the basic concept. It will be an AI-driven protocol that indeed seeks the best yield based on your risk parameters.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
so it's actually passive income, generating passive income for.
And will excuse me, hoarse from talking to so many people.
Yeah.
Will that only work on your DEX, or will that source out to the likes of SundaeSwap or MinSwap or Wing Riders? Does it go across all platforms, or does it only concentrate on your own DEX?
Fortunately not. It will screen all Cardano-based DEX. It's not my voice, I also spoke a lot. Yes, as I said, it will have access to all Cardano-based DEXs. So it will screen available pools that are on the markets to generate the highest.
I think that's important because you see some projects get attracted to individual DEXs, so they have the best liquidity on them. So that's nearly always going to be the best place to trade certain tokens. So it doesn't limit your opportunities for the aggregator.
Absolutely.
So in terms of the audit, was it fully passed, or have you work to do on it? I know lots of times an audit comes back and there's you have your major, your medium, or your minor bugs to fix.
So far, only minor issues has been found. We were working on it. We want to make sure that it will start properly with no bugs. So we're good on track. But as I said, the first product will be for GeniusX, my other projects that will go live this year.
Okay. I think that's kind of covered most of, before we move off the DEX, I think we've covered most on it there. Yeah. And actually a testnet, will we see a testnet anytime soon if you're looking at a Q1 launch? Is Q1 launch mainnet? And will we have a testnet first?
Yes, there will be. Like our Launchpad. First we had a testnet with the community. Over 5,000 users were whitelisted to test. Also there, only minor bugs were found. Now it looks pretty good that we're on track to launch it on December 1st.
Okay, I suppose we'll go over to that now. I did go to look at the testnet actually, but I didn't like the KYC aspect of. I'm very conscious of giving my personal details away. So for a testnet, I didn't get involved on that. Is there a reason that you requested KYC for that?
You know, earlier we met, I attended a panel discussion about DeFi, and someone said that KYC or regulatory implications or restrictions will come. So that's not a question of when or how, it will come. So it's almost for sure. So we wanted to be in full compliance with applicable laws and regulations. I think there's no need to hide. If you're interested to invest, why don't you want to pass the KYC? It's fully automatic. It's a seamless process. It's fast.
Yeah, well, for me, I suppose it was, especially on the testnet, I was like, I would like to have tested it, but I just didn't give away the KYC. And at some point, depending on what features are on it and stuff, I might end up doing that. But with your KYC, is it a third party does that for you, or do you have a process built for that, for storing the data?
Yeah, we're working with Thumbs Up, a well-known provider.
Okay.
These guys are doing this for us.
So the background. You probably never get access to, say, I uploaded my passport. No. You guys never get.
We don't have access to it.
Okay.
It is fully. I mean, look, you may know crypto.com.
Yeah.
Right. So you need to give your data as well there. You need to be KYC'd in order to do some transactions.
Yeah, I give them a bit of leeway because it's interacting with the fiat gateways and stuff. But I'm not against regulation, and I think there's people are very against it. But I think we have to embrace it. That regulation is going to come. It's going to be a part of crypto, and if the leaders in the industry don't get involved at that high level and educate the people that will regulate us, educate them about what is good and bad. That crypto DeFi isn't just a black market now. It's not about drugs and whatever else. It's actually, there can be a lot of good stuff going. So I do think we need to embrace regulation. So I'm not fully against it. I'm just asking.
I do understand your concerns and the community's concerns. Yesterday I was on the panel. The topic was about regulation. Okay. And the last question was, in 1 year, what kind of topics will we discuss from now on? And one of the topics I said was that regulation. If you wanna achieve the next level of mass adoption, you can't avoid implementing proper procedures, and this will also apply for DeFi and Web3 projects. Okay. I mean, this is in the end we are playing the long-term goal, right? When we're not here for the short term, and why not being compliant and be a good player in the market? Yeah, so what's the process for the Launchpad, I suppose, both for projects and for users? So you mentioned giving projects help. Yeah. I think projects or Launchpads I've seen in the past have been all about just, you had to buy the tokens early to get an allocation, and the people who get the early allocation can dump the tokens, and the Launchpad actually does nothing for the project. So where do you, so I think in some circles Launchpads don't have a great name because of that. It only benefits whoever buys the early tokens, but do you do much with the project, or is that a requirement of them using your Launchpad? No, so GeniusX is an accelerator. So as I said, we support early stage project to grow, and the Launchpad is part of the last phase of the consultancy services that we provide. Okay. So, and it is a public sale channel, right? Some startups, we help them raise funds during seed phase, and then the ISPO, and now the public sales through the Launchpad. In the first phase, we will have our GENS tokens on the platform, and next year we will be adding the first tokens from participants of our accelerator program. And after that, the Launchpad is open to other Cardano startups that are not participating in the accelerator program. Okay, and then for me, if I don't hold the token, can I come in and buy the project tokens, or is there, where does the GENS token come into it? The GENS tokens are the native tokens of Genius Yield. Okay. So yeah, and regarding other projects, you don't need to buy or to own tokens before you buy it on the Launchpad. So everyone who has, you need to have ADA. And we also want to include a stable coin on Cardano. So today, a project announced that their stable coin will go live soon. Indigo should be launching in around the time we're recording now, is one of them anyway. Yeah, that's exciting news. We have been waiting for this for really a long time. That's great. Stablecoins are really needed, especially looking on the trading side. Yeah. You see how important stablecoins are. Like, you look at other blockchains, stablecoins are always the highest trading volume pairs. So absolutely. They're a requirement for any DeFi ecosystem. Yeah, so it's really exciting to have a stablecoin. Yeah. Finally. And then Emergo yesterday announced USDA that hopefully they're targeting February, but regulation, you never know when that process goes through, but it's worth going through the right channels in the beginning anyway. Yeah, it goes into the right direction. So there are approaches working on this, and we are fortunate to have them. Yeah. So just, you mentioned the GENS token there. That's for the DEX, the GENS token, is it? That's correct. That's okay. The DEX. It's not required that you are a GENS holder to use our DEX. Yeah. Right. So anyone can use our DEX. And does the GENS token give any benefits to the holders? Like, I talked to a project earlier, and what they're looking is taking some of the trading fees and they pay it back to the token holders, and the different mechanisms like that. Is there anything on Genius like that? Yes, there are staking opportunities. And these are governance tokens, so they can holders can vote, can decide in the future in which direction our protocol should go. Okay. It's a utility tokens. And
Just on the fees, just because it's in my head from talking to the other one, do any of the DEX fees go to token holders, or is that separate?
At the moment, we're thinking about it. We just need to make sure it is in compliance with applicable laws, because normally if there's an inherent claim, by just holding a token, it's considered a securities token, and that puts you in not the best light in front of the regulatory.
That was the question I put back to the project that told me about paying fees, and they're looking into that as well, and there could be certain countries they can do it and others that they can't, that kind of way.
So that needs to be carefully scrutinized.
Yeah, and will you have yield farming on the DEX then, or will yours is different?
Yes, yeah, there we have smart order routers for liquidity providers, where they get the opportunity to get more fees if they provide liquidity. This is a feature that we will be adding to our DEX.
So is that similar to a trading bot? Like I put it in that I'm willing to trade between certain ranges of the price, or how do smart orders work? Yeah,
it's similar. It executes your trade.
Okay.
So it seeks for the bid and ask price on the various.
It only lets your liquidity be used between them ranges that you set, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And on the Launchpad then, is there a token there, or is the GENS token applicable across the board?
Yes, we will have GENS tokens.
Okay.
You know, at Genius, we love to pioneer new stuff. So back in September, we launched the world's first multi-token ISPO. That was the second GeniusX ISPO. The first one was the GENS ISPO.
Yeah.
That one ended somewhere in May, early this year, and then we launched the multi-token ISPO, where delegators get 5 projects tokens when delegating ADA to the pools. And these projects are vetted projects from our accelerator program. Okay,
so the Launchpad won't have its own token, will it? The GENS token covers your full ecosystem, DEX and Launchpad, is it?
No, the DEX, that's the Genius Yield, and the Launchpad, it's the GeniusX, it's the GENS.
So GENS isn't the token for the DEX then, is it?
Yes, but the other one is with an X, so...
so there is 2 tokens.
There's the 2 tokens, that's correct, and both are utility tokens. Yeah.
Why wouldn't you use GENS, or is there a reason for the same company having 2 separate tokens, or...?
Yeah, we don't want to dilute the use case or value. That's why we decided to separate.
Okay.
Essentially, it's not the same project, right? That's why we also show up with 2 brands, Genius Yield and GeniusX, because it's a different business model.
Yeah, and then the Launchpad token, is that just a governance token as well, or does that have any say on what tokens you get from the Launchpad?
Yes, as I said, these are also governance tokens, utility tokens. So
they're just governance tokens. They won't have, like, if you hold a certain amount, you get X value of the new, or you can buy a certain amount of the new token, is it?
No, not.
Okay, it's good to hear that model is being pushed away, because it burns a lot of new people coming in that come in after the Launchpad, because early investors of the original token get a lot of any new project. And a lot of times they end up just selling off on everyone else who might believe in the project and wants to buy into the project after. So it's good to see them kind of models are being pushed away.
Yes, we try to listen to the community as well. So it doesn't mean that we do everything right. Because we're open to critics or to proposals. I think this is very important.
Yeah, it's very, very good to be open to community feedback. What I find is sometimes projects, what they mean to say to the community, what they think they're saying to the community isn't the way it's received on the other side.
Yes.
There's nearly a language barrier in what's meant and what's perceived.
Correct.
So it's always good to be able to take feedback and clarify the message, I suppose.
Yes.
So anything else we kind of haven't covered about what you're doing or where you are or anything like that in this?
I think we covered most of the topics that we want to discuss. In the future, we want to support the Cardano ecosystem more. by working closely with the foundation,
Okay.
and also with Emurgo Academy, and also with other contributors on the Cardano blockchain. We have partnered up with many companies so far. I think, as we discussed in the morning, discussed earlier, it's about making the ecosystem bigger, and everyone should be in a win-win position.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Well, if there is no other topics, that's kind of my questions about the project, but we can do a follow-up at some point to see where things are at and when you're getting closer to launching and how it all works then as well. So I look forward to seeing more competition coming into the marketplace. That competition is good. It makes everyone else have to improve what they're doing as well.
Yes, I do believe competition drives innovation.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's a good point to finish on. Thanks very much for your time today. I appreciate it. Very nice to
Thank you
meet
very
you
much,
in person.
Paul.
Okay.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.